Hey y'all, this is Destiny checking in with today's Daily Diamond. Hey family, as always, I would like to say welcome to anybody who is new and checking out my podcast. And hey again to those of you who have been with me. So, before I jump into today's topic, I have to do my due diligence to thank my sponsors. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So first, we have the only hair I wear, Royal Crown Extensions. Make sure you check out Royal Crown Extensions for your bonnets, your bundles, your wigs, your lashes. They've got it all. Make sure you check them out. Then of course, we have our up and coming braider, Lisha. Make sure you check out Lisha for your box braids, your buns, your ponytails, your feet ends. She's getting really, really booked and very, very busy. So make sure that you check her out. Then of course, we have Kisses by Shelly. Kisses by Shelly's official relaunch is December the 6th. So be on the lookout for that. And then of course, we have my best friend, Tiana Nate. Make sure you check out her YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share, and comment so that you can be entered in her $50 giveaway. Make sure you check out all of her videos. It looks like I think I spot a new video on the way this week. So if it wasn't posted yesterday, I'm sure it'll be posted sometime today. Maybe. I could be lying to y'all. And then make sure you check her out. Like, subscribe, share, and comment on all of her YouTube videos. Get her where she needs to be so that she can accomplish a goal of her own. And then, of course, we have, last but not least, the Nah I'm Just Pretty brand. Nah I'm Just Pretty is an affirmative brand. I absolutely freaking love them. Make sure you check out their t-shirts, their tote bags. They're going to make great Christmas gifts. You're not pretty just because you're a big girl, or you're not pretty because, to be a big girl. You're just pretty. You're not pretty to be dark skinned. You're just pretty. So make sure you check out the I Am Pretty brand. Make sure that you check out Kisses by Shelly and Sade and Alicia and my best friend Tiana Nate. They are all down in the description below. So make sure that you check them all out and let them know that Destiny sent you. Now, on to today's topic. So today's topic is going to be a bit of a more personal one, but it is one that has been coming back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so I told you guys that I am currently in Lansing for a conference. And so there was one of the conference meetings that I sat in, and they began to talk about mental health, right? And they began to talk about mental health. We're not talking about of grown people, even though grown people, we needed to. But they began to talk about the mental health of the youth. And when we're talking about mental health of the youth, like they began to talk about, how it impacts school, how it impacts success, how it impacts their life. And then I was reminded of a couple of situations that I have personally had I don't even want to say pleasure, but had the pleasure of interacting with. And I'm only going to use the term pleasure because it really has opened my eyes. But literally having the opportunity, I guess you could say, to interact with some people who are struggling with some mental health issues. And so I really want to take some time today to address this concept and to think about or to focus on mental health. And so this episode is specifically for those of you who are my listeners who are teenagers, and those of you who are my listeners who are around my same age. So from anywhere to 15 until the shoe fits, I guess you could say, this episode is for you. And so I don't know a lot about mental health, but one thing that I can say is that as a high school teacher, I have found myself being a counselor, a nurse, an advisor, and all of these things all at the same time. And in the midst of all of that, I have learned that mental health, especially in the Black community, is such a freaking problem. There's this old adage, in Black homes, what happened here stays here. And that's so freaking unhealthy. Like, why is it that we have been raised as people to be private, to keep ourselves kind of pulled back, and to not report things that are not necessarily, not to report things that are negative, not to talk about things that are harmful to us, not to address things that put us in a bad headspace, not to address those components of our life or our experiences that are depressing. Like, what is that? What is going on in the world that we live in the world in which we are in which we don't want our people, we don't want our children, we don't want our young people to seek help. I was going to record a section of my book, and then I went against that. But there's a section in my book, and it literally starts with counseling. Counseling? You want me to go to counseling? I don't need no damn counseling. And this is a section of my book of a memory of mine from when I was way younger. But in all actuality, I really did need counseling. And in all actuality, I probably still, even as an adult, should be in counseling. And I really want to know, when we as a country, when we as a race of people, when we as adults, parents, big brothers, big sisters, aunties, cousins, whatever you want to call it, when are we going to put mental health, especially the mental health of our youth, when are we going to put that first? When are we going to put ourselves in a predicament and in a situation in which we can acknowledge and put the mental health of our young people at the forefront of everything that we do? And I was sitting in this conference today, and as I was sitting there, it literally dawned on me, right? We want to talk about how children suck in terms of education, and they're not taking care of their business, and test scores are horrible, and grades are horrible, and attendance is horrible. And we want to fault these young people for all of the shortcomings that they have in terms of school and academics and in their life. But nobody wants to acknowledge the fact that these young people are literally struggling with mental health issues. And the reasons that our young people are not academically successful is because they can't cope. They've got so many adult problems. They got so many adult issues that they are trying to cope and deal with, and they don't have the mental health support that they need. And so school becomes the last thing on their mind. How am I supposed to be successful? How am I supposed to be prosperous if I've got a mental health concern that nobody wants to address? Nobody wants to acknowledge the fact that I'm depressed. Nobody wants to acknowledge the fact that I'm suicidal. Nobody wants to acknowledge the fact that I'm dealing with something that is so dark. And because I am young, I don't know how to see my way out. Like, I literally need to say that again. Our young people are struggling because they are young and they don't know how to see their way out. And we as parents, as teachers, as aunties, as mentors, as brothers and sisters, like, we literally have got to wrap our arms around these young people and give them tools so that they can see their way out of the darkness. I don't know what happens in your teenage years in which you fall into a stage of depression or you deal with depression. I don't know if it's the bullying. I don't know if it's the internet. Like, I don't know if it's finances and socioeconomic status. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that is going on with our young people in which they find themselves in this place. But as a teacher of high schoolers who has been doing this job at some time, I have to sadly report that quite a lot of our young people are in a very, very dark place. And we as adults need to figure out a way to help them get out. We can't keep telling them to just get over it. They can't get over it. They don't know how to get over it. They don't have the skills yet. They're still young. They're still immature to get over it. How can we begin to do some wraparound support and some wraparound services? I know that there is somebody out there that is listening to me that is a social worker. Can you please reach out to me? Reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. Reach out to me via email. Reach out to me on my WordPress. How can we begin to wrap some services and some support around these young people, especially these young people of color who are dealing with so many adult issues, so that they can get out of this dark place that they are in? And I don't want this message to come across as if I am supporting anything that is negative, but I really, really, really want someone who is more qualified than me to tell me, how do we wrap services and support around our young people? How do we teach them these coping skills that they need so that they can get out of this dark place? How can we save them and let them see and help them to realize that life is worth living and that it is something beautiful about making it through the storm? Because for some of the young people that I encounter, this storm just don't end. And they don't know how to get out of it. And we haven't done a good job at helping them. And so when we talk about all of the things that face our young people and all of the things that they deal with, and we can talk about social media, we can talk about bullying, we could talk about finances, we could talk about all of those things, right? We could couple all of these things together. But I literally just want somebody to help me help these children? How can we teach them coping skills? How can we wrap some support around them so that they can get out of the dark places that they are in? And for those young people that are listening, I don't know how you got in that dark place, but I can only tell you that I've been there too before, and that if you hold on and if you are steadfast and if you keep pushing and you keep writing and you keep trying, it will come to an end. You've just got to learn to cope. And so I really want to be present. I really want to be available. I really want to be there for those people who feel like they need support and they need love. And so for the young people out there who are listening, like today, can you take a self-inventory if you're struggling with something? Like if you are struggling with depression and you are struggling with something and you have some not so positive thoughts, can you take some inventory for me? Can you take a moment to figure out what it is that is bothering you, and then let's see if we can pull together, if we can put our thoughts together. Like, let's see if we can get some mentoring done. Let's see if we can get some support done. Let's see if we can get some coping skills done so that all of those young people who are currently struggling with something can get out of this darkness. And so if you have an idea or you have a concept, tag me on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following me. Tag me, because I want to know. I want to see it. I really, really, really want to do my best to help you. And so if you are a young person and you are in a place of darkness and depression, just know that I'm here for you. If you want to contact me, reach out to me, find my Instagram, find my email, contact me on my WordPress. Please reach out. Please reach out to someone who can support you and wrap their arms around you so that you can get out of the dark space that you are in. I promise that this world is worth it. I promise that this is such a beautiful space, and I really, really, really just want you guys to be okay. And so reach out to me. That's your task for today. Reach out to me. Older family members, reach out to somebody who's young and struggling. Like, let's wrap some support around them. If you are a social worker or you got some support you can offer me, reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. Let's wrap some services around these young people so we can help get them out of these dark spaces that they are in. And this is Destiny signing out with today's Daily Diamond. I'll see you guys tomorrow.